Good morning, students. Yeah, say your prayer. Yeah, thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book and take page number 55. Yeah, so in our previous class we have discussed about the changes that took place in 6th century. Yeah, so the religious changes. So in our previous class we discussed about so some of the religions so that originate during the 6th century. Yeah, so we discussed about the religion in other countries, especially in Asia, China and Persia. Yeah. In today's class we will discuss about the Jainism. So Jainism and Buddhism. So both religion originate in India. In today's class we will discuss about Jainism. In next class we will discuss about Buddhism. Okay, ma? So let us move into the lesson. So in our previous class we have discussed about the religion in the 6th century BC. Yeah, so the new civilization that emerged in the new age had certain common features. Okay, ma? So 6th century so was a period of exceptional development in all spheres of life. Yeah, so because during that time only so prominent thinkers, so the great thinkers and founders of new religion lived and making a great historical importance. Yeah, so who were the philosophical and religious thinkers born during that time? Yeah, Confucius in China, then Zoroaster in Iran, Mahavira and Buddha in India. So they gained much popularity in 6th century BC. So among them we have discussed about so Confucianism, then Taoism. So first Confucianism. So who was Confucius? So he was a Chinese philosopher. Okay, so he is the author of 5 important works. So he wrote 5 books. So we discussed that. Then the 5 cardinal principles of Confucius. So what are the 5 cardinal principles? Humanness, righteousness, then propriety, wisdom, then trustworthiness. Then we discussed about Taoism. So the teachings of Lao Tse. So who founded the Taoism religion? Lao Tse. So we have discussed that also. Then finally about Zoroastrianism. So who was the founder of Zoroastrianism? Zoroaster. So who was the supreme god? Agara Mazda. That means the Lord of Light. Then the holy book of Zoroastrians was called as Jendavasta. Then we discussed about the teachings of Zoroaster. Okay, ma? So according to Zoroaster there is only one god. His name was Agara Mazda. Then he has 7 qualities. So we have discussed these things. So these religion were originated in the foreign countries, so not in India. So if you take Confucius, then Taoism, it originated in China. Zoroastrianism, it originated in Persia. During the same time India also have 2 great thinkers. So India also gave birth to 2 important thinkers. So Mahavira and Buddha. So Mahavira was the founder of Jainism religion. Then Buddha was the founder of Buddhism religion. So today's class we will discuss about Mahavira, Jainism religion. Okay, ma? Impact of iron technology in India. In the Gangetic value. In the Gangetic value, people learned to produce crops more than that was required for subsistence. So in the Gangetic value, so because of the fertile river water and alluvial soil, so people learned to produce crops more than that was required for their subsistence. So subsistence means so the basic thing needed to run life. So subsistence means so the basic things required to run the life. So they produce crops more than they required. So another section of people took up some professional craft as their livelihood. Since few people produce crops, food crops for all the people living in that area, so some people, so another section of people took some professional craft. So they took another job. So apart from doing agriculture, so they began to take another professional craft. So like the farmers, these craftsmen also had to rely on the group of people who collected raw materials and distributed the craft products. So these sect of people, so they also depend on a another set of people who collect raw materials, so for producing such craft, and another set of people who distribute these craft products. So that means, so some people involved in agriculture. So another section of people, so what they do means, so they produce some craft, so professional craft material. So the craft material need some raw materials. So they get raw materials from another set of people. So after producing these things, so after producing these craft products, so it should be distributed to other people. So for that also there is some group of people. So early urbanization happened in two ways. One was a result of some villages specializing in blacksmithing, pottery, carpentry, cloth weaving, and the like. So early urbanization happened in two ways. So one was the result of some village specializing, that is blacksmith, pottery, carpentry, cloth weaving, and the like. The other was an account of the congregation. So congregation means act of coming together in a group. So the other was an account of the congregation of the specialized craftsmen in villages close to where the raw materials were available and where markets were present. So one group became so specialization in blacksmith, pottery, carpentry, cloth weaving, and the like. So other urbanization, so other set of centers. So how it was formed means, so the craftsmen in villages close to where the raw materials were available and where markets were present. So such a concentration enabled villages to evolve into towns and exchange centers. So such concentration, so enabled, so make the villages to evolve into towns and exchange centers. So Vaishali, Shravasti, Rajagriha, Kausambi, Kasi, so are some of the significant commercial centers of the Gangetic Plain. So Vaishali, Shravasti, Rajagriha, Kausambi, Kasi, so they were the significant commercial centers of the Gangetic Plain. So because of iron technology, agriculture developed well in Gangetic Plain. So only few group of people produce food crops required for the whole society. So what other people did means, so they began to leave agriculture and took up some professional craft as their livelihood. So for producing the craft, they need raw materials. So the raw materials were supplied by another group of people. So they produce the craft things. So how they sell? How can they distribute it? It was done by another set of people. So in this way, urbanization developed in two ways. So in one area, so people began to produce the things. In another area, so people get the raw materials, and in some other area, so people sells these products. So that centers, so these places act as an exchange center. So thus urbanization developed in two ways. So the villages were emerged as towns and urbanization centers. So during that time, so the important centers, commercial centers of Gangetic Plain were Vaishali, Shravasti, Rajagriha, Kausambi, and Kasi. Religion, post Rig Vedic. So Rig Vedic. So what happened after Rig Vedic? So three more Vedas, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva, so were composed after the Rig Vedic. So after the industrial civilization, it was the Rig Vedic period existed in India. So after Rig Vedic period, that is post Rig Vedic period, so three more Vedas were composed. So there are four Vedas: Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva. So manuals of rituals. So manuals means a book that explains how to do something. So rituals, religious ceremony. That means, so how religious ceremony can be done was explained in a book that was called as Brahmanas. So how a religious ceremony, how a religious function should be done. So how a religious ceremony can be done was explained in a book that was called as Brahmanas. So specifying rhyming words to be sung. So in Brahmanas, how the religious text, religious ceremony can be done, and how the word, so the mantras can be pronounced. So how the mantras, so the Brahmin mantras can be pronunciated, so was explained. And two commentaries. So commentaries means a written explanation or discussion of a book or play. So two commentaries on certain Rig Vedic hymns. So hymns means songs praising God. So called Aryankas, containing knowledge to be learned secretly in the forest. Okay, va? So the Brahmanas and Aranyakas. So Brahmanas that explains about how the religious ceremony songs should be sung. Yeah. And Aranyakas, that is which explain the Rig Veda. So Aryankas that explain Rig Veda. So should be secretly learned only in the forest. And the Upanishad. So they are also related with religious. So were compiled. So compiled means collect information or arrange it in a list. So the Upanishads were compiled in the upper Gangetic plain during 1000 to 600 BC. So after the Rig Vedic period, so 3 more Vedas were composed. Then apart from that, Brahmanas and Aryankas, so containing knowledge, so should be learned only in the forest. And Upanishads, so they were compiled in the upper Gangetic plain. So 3 more Vedas, Yajur, Sama, Atharva, and the Rig Veda, then Brahmanas, Aryankas, Upanishads. So all these things were compiled in the upper Gangetic plain from 1000 to 600 BC. So next is Jainism and Buddhism. So what factors that led to the rise of Jainism and Buddhism in India? So initially the Rig Veda, so the Veda religion, so dominate in India. But what are the events? So what happened that led to the rise of Jainism and Buddhism? In the Gangetic plain, iron plough agriculture required the use of bullocks. So initially for agriculture we use bullocks. So for ploughing and for harvesting and also for carrying goods, people depend on bullocks. So that is the cattle. But as per the Vedic religion, so during the yagnas and ritual functions, so they sacrifice cattle in large number. So this indiscriminate. So indiscriminate means done or acting without making sensible judgment or caring about the possible harmful effect. So without thinking about the people well, the Brahmanas, so who following the Vedic rituals, so killed large number of cattle. So this thing caused resentment. So resentment means so feeling angry about something because you think that it is unfair. So Gangetic plain, so agriculture is the main job. So people depend on bullocks for their agriculture work. But the Vedic Brahmanas, so what they did means, so they began to sacrifice cattle in the name of rituals. So this caused upset. So this was not liked by the people. The founders of Jainism and Buddhism did not prescribe killing as a religious right. But at the same time, during their period, so the Jainism and Buddhism, so this religion, so did not support killing animal as a religious right. So they secured their livelihood mostly by arms. Apart from that, these Jainism and Buddhism followers, so they secured, so they lived their livelihood mostly by alms. So alms means so money, cloth and food that are given to poor people. That means they get these things only by begging from the people. So then celibacy and abstinence. So celibacy means so state of abstaining from marriage and sexual relations. Then abstinence, so stopping yourself from having or doing something that you enjoy. So that means so the Jainism and Buddhism followers lived a simple way of life. So they eat the food, they wear the dress what they got from the people. Okay, so this thing attracted the common people. So celibacy and abstinence from holding property made the new teachers much more acceptable than the Brahmin priest. But the Brahmin priest, so what they did means, so they sacrificed the animals in the name of God. So this was not liked by the common people, because common people need cattle for their livelihood. But the Brahmin priest, so in the name of God, in the name of Vedas, so they forced the people to sacrifice the cattle. So this thing made the people to turn their attention towards the Jainism and Buddhism religion. So the people's resentment about the expensive and elaborate Vedic rituals, animal sacrifice and the desire for wealth eventually took them towards Jainism and Buddhism. So the people's angry. So they feel disappointment. So about the expensive and elaborate Vedic rituals. So the Vedic rituals, so the sacrifice of animals were done in a a large way. So were done in a huge way. Okay, this was not liked by the people, but at the same time, the followers of Jainism and Buddhism led a simple life. These things also attracted people towards this religion. So Jainism and Buddhism. So Mahavira and Buddha lived a life of purity and exemplified simplicity and self-denial. So self-denial means self-sacrifice. So Mahavira and Buddha live a life of pure life. So and they make them as the example. So they live a simple life. They lived in the times of Bimbisara and Ajatasattu, the famous kings of Magadha. So Mahavira and Buddha lived in the times of the Magadha Empire. So Bimbisara and Ajatasattu. Then the commercial development of the northern cities like Kaushambi, Kushinagara, Benares, Vaishali and Rajagriha added importance to the Vaishyas. So who were Vaishyas? As per the Vedic religion, there were 4 castes, so 4 Varna system. So Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, Sudras. So Vaishyas, so they were the section of people who involved in agriculture and trade activities. So they, because of the growth of Vaishyas, because so people began to produce some craft. So apart from doing agriculture, they began to involve in craft production. So that there is the development of cities. So urbanization began to seen. Urbanization began to develop. So development of commercial cities like Kausambi, Kushinagara, Benares and Vaishali and Rajagriha added importance to the Vaishyas. Now Vaishyas began to grow rich. So they turned to Buddhism and Jainism in their eagerness to improve their social status. So in order to raise their social status, because during the time the kings also supported the Jainism and Buddhism, especially Bimbisara and Ajatasattu. So they began to support Jainism and Buddhism. So Vaishyas, so they also turned towards Buddhism and Jainism in their eagerness to improve their social status. In order to improve their social status, so Vaishyas, so who are now rich, who are developing, so because of urbanization process, began to support Jainism and Buddhism. So these things, so that led to the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. So now we will discuss about the Jainism. So already I told you, in tomorrow's class we will discuss about Buddhism. Today's class we will discuss about Jainism. So who was the founder of Jainism? Vardhamana Mahavira. So Mahavira's birth and life. Vardhamana Mahavira was born in 599 BC at Kundagrama near Vaishali. So Vardhamana Mahavira was born in 599 BC at Kundagrama near Vaishali. Vaishali, it is in Bihar state. So Vaishali is in Bihar state. So Vardhamana Mahavira was born in Bihar in the year 599 BC. His mother was Trishala, a Lichavi princess. So Lichavi means a dynasty, a king dynasty. So he was born in a king. He was born as a king. He spent his early life as a prince and was married to a princess named Yashoda. So Vardhamana Mahavira was born in 599 BC at Kundagrama. His mother was Trishala, a Lichavi prince. He spent his early life as a prince and was married to a prince named Yashoda. So they had a daughter. So Vardhamana Mahavira and Yashoda had a daughter. At the age of 30, he left his home and became an ascetic. So at the age of 30, he left his home and became an ascetic. So ascetic means not allowing yourself physical pleasures, especially for religious reason. So not allowing yourself physical pleasures in the name of religion. So at the age of 30, Mahavira left his home and became an ascetic. So for 12 years, he wandering from place to place. That is, he moved from place to place without any aim. So, but he subjected himself to severe penance and self-mortification. So penance means, so punish himself physically. So self-mortification means, so self-penance and self-mortification means, so Mahavira punished himself so for doing something wrong. That means he wanted to know the truth. So he wanted to gain knowledge. So for that he punished himself. So he himself involved in severe penance. So penance means punishment that you give yourself to show you are sorry for doing something wrong. So self-mortification, same thing. So punish himself physically. Yeah, so punished himself physically. In the 13th year of his asceticism, yeah, he acquired the highest knowledge. Yeah, so he wandered for 12 years from place to place. Yeah, so subjecting himself to severe penance and self-mortification. In the 13th year of his asceticism, he acquired the highest knowledge and came to be known as Jaina. So Jaina means conqueror, and Mahavira, that means great hero. So Mahavira, so Maha means great, Veera means hero. So after getting knowledge, so after 13 years only, he acquired the highest knowledge and came to be known as Jaina and Mahavira. So Jains believe that Mahavira came in a long line of Tirthankaras and he was the 24th. So according to Jains, the religion Jainism was established not only by Mahavira, but before him there were 23 Tirthankaras. So there were 24 Tirthankaras and Mahavira was the 24th Tirthankara. Then who was the first Tirthankara? So according to Jains, Rishabha was the first Tirthankara. So Rishabha was the first Tirthankara. It was also told that the ancient king Bharadan, so the ancient king Bharata, so he was the eldest son of Rishabha. So the Bharata, so India had the traditional name Bharat. Okay, so how we occurred the name Bharat? So it was from the name of the ancient king Bharadan. So the Bharadan, he was the son of first Tirthankara Rishabha, so as per some tradition. But according to Jains, so Rishabha was the first Tirthankara and Mahavira was the 24th Tirthankara. Then Parshvanath, so he was the 23rd, that is penultimate, so one before last one. So he was the 23rd Tirthankara. So Mahavira travelled extensively as a preacher. So preacher means so those who advise, so those who do philosophical teachings, so that is called as preaching. So Mahavira travelled extensively as a preacher in the kingdoms of Magadha, Vaideha and Anga. So Mahavira travelled as a preacher in the kingdoms of Magadha, Videha, Anga. Magadha rulers, Bimbisara and Ajatasatru were attracted by his teachings. So thousands of people became his followers. So thousands of people became the followers of Mahavira. So after 30 years of preaching, Mahavira died at Pavapuri in 527 BC at the age of 72. So after 30 years of preaching, Mahavira died at Pavapuri in 527 BC at the age of 72. So during this time, so many people began to follow the Jainism religion. So all over India. So that's why you can see in Sangam literature. So most of the Sangam literature works were maybe related with Jainism or with Buddhism. So this religion had a great impact in our Tamil Nadu also. Though they born in North India, in Bihar and Nepal state, these religion have a great impact in Dravidian countries, especially in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so where was Mahavira born? Kundagrama near Vaisali. So for how many years he wandered from place to place? 12th year. So name the title acquired by Mahavira after getting the highest knowledge. Jaina. So Jaina means conqueror. So how many Tirthankaras were there? 24th. Who was the first Tirthankara? Rishabha. Now the teachings of Mahavira. So the three principles of Jainism. So the three principles of Jainism was also known as three Ratnas. So the three principles of Mahavira was also called as three Ratnas or the following. That is right faith, right knowledge, then right action. So right faith, right knowledge, then right action. So what is right faith? So right faith means believe in the teachings and wisdoms of Mahavira. So right faith means believe in the teachings and wisdom of Mahavira. Then right knowledge. So what is right knowledge? Acceptance of the theory that there is no God and that the world existed without a creator. So right knowledge means that there is no God. So according to Jainism, there is no God and the world existed without a creator. So there is no one created the world. So it exists by itself. Then right action. It refers to the Mahavira's observance of the 5 great vows. So 5 great things. First ahimsa. So ahimsa. So our Mahatma Gandhi's policy. Yeah. Then honesty, then kindness, then truthfulness, then not coveting. So coveting means to want to have something very much, so that belongs to others. So not coveting or desiring things belonging to others. So not liking the things belonging to others. Yeah. So first, right faith means believing in the teachings and wisdom of Mahavira. So believing the teachings of Mahavira. Then right knowledge, so accepting that there is no God and the world existed without a creator. Then right actions, so it refers to Mahavira's great vows, so great things. Yeah. First, ahimsa, yeah, so not injuring any animal. Honesty, so be honest. Then kindness, so show kindness to other things, to show mercy to all living beings. Then truthfulness, so speaks truth always. Then not coveting or desiring things belonging to others. Yeah, so not desire, so you should not have a wish towards the other things, others goods. Okay, va? So these were the teachings of Mahavira. So how the Jainism religion spread? So spread of Jainism. In order to spread his new faith, Mahavira founded monasteries. So monasteries means a place where monks live together. So in order to spread his new faith, Mahavira founded monasteries. The Jaina monks who led a very austere life. So austere means strict and serious life. So the Jain monks led a serious and strict life. In North India, this new faith was patronized by rulers such as Dhanananda, Chandragupta Maurya and Karavela. Yes, in North India, this teaching, so Mahavira's new faith was financially supported by the rulers. So not only financially, but they itself became the followers of Jainism. So the rulers such as Dhanananda, Chandragupta Maurya and Karavela, so began the strong supporter of the Jainism religion. So there was a notable followers of Jainism in Karnataka and Western India during the 4th century BC. So there was a notable followers of Jainism in Karnataka and Western India during the 4th century. So that is after 100 years of the death of, nearly 100 years death of Mahavira. So Jainism became a dominant religion in Karnataka and Western India. So Jainism encouraged the public spirit among the all who embraced it. So Jainism encouraged the public energy. So it encouraged a public spirit among all the persons who began to follow it. Varna system was practiced by Brahmins, that was challenged. So Varna system, the 4 type of caste system. So followed by the Brahmins was challenged. People were spared from the costly and elaborate rituals and sacrifices. So people, now they were free from the costly and elaborate rituals and sacrifices. Because in Jainism, there is no such religious practices, only in the Vedic religion. So that was imposed. But people who embraced Jainism were free from such costly rituals. Mahavira believed that all objects, both animate and inanimate, so both moving and non-moving, so have souls. So have souls and various degrees of consciousness. So according to Mahavira, all the creatures in the world have soul. So maybe animate or inanimate. So all the things, all the objects in the world have soul and they have various degrees of consciousness. So conscious means you are conscious or not? You are conscious. So all the things have various degrees of consciousness. They possess life and feel pain when they are injured. So maybe animate or inanimate. They also have life. So they feel pain when they are injured. So Jainism show mercy to all the creatures. So all the living things in the world. So according to Mahavira, all objects, both animate and inanimate, have soul and various degrees of consciousness. So what is this? This is known as Gomatiswara. So the statute of Bahubali. Bahubali? Not the movie name. So Bahubali. So according to Jain tradition, Bahubali was also a son of first Tirthangara Rishabha. So the statue of Bahubali, so built in the name of Jainism religion, it was known as Gomatiswara, which is 57 feet in height, so which is located in Shravana Belgola in Karnataka. So it is the tallest Jain statue ever carved out in India. So till now in India, in the Jainism religion, so this statue, that is Gomatiswara, also called as Bahubali, the statue of Bahubali, which is in Shravana Belgola in Karnataka, is the tallest Jain statue. So tallest Jain statue. So it is located in Shravana Belgola, which is in Karnataka. So it is 57 feet height. So it is the largest Jain statue. So it is the statue of Bahubali known as Gomatiswara. Jaina Kanchi. So Jainism was one of the major faith in the Tamil Nadu during the 7th century AD. So Jainism was one of the major faith in the ancient Tamilagam and also in the 7th century AD. The Pallava king Mahendravarman was a Jain. So you know the famous Pallava king Mahendravarman. He was a Jain. So under the influence of Upper, he got converted to Saivism. So Mahendravarman was converted to Saivism by the famous Upper. So close to the present of town Kanji, there is a place called Jaina Kanji where you find many Jain temples. So close to the present town of Kanji. So Kanjipuram. So that is the important center, capital of Pallavas. So Mahendravarman, Pallava king. So close to the present town of Kanji, there is a place called Jaina Kanji where you find many Jaina temples. One of the important temple is the Tirupati Kundram temple where the ceiling, that is the top floor, is painted with the life story of Mahavira. So close to the present town of Kanji, there is a place called Jaina Kanji where you find many Jain temples. One of the important temple is the Tirupati Kundram temple where the ceiling is painted with the life story of Mahavira. So initially in Tamil Nadu also we noticed that Jainism was the important religion. But after the rise of the Bhakti movement, especially after the rise of the later Cholas, so Saivism and Vaishnavism became the dominant religion. But during the Sangam age and during the Mahendravarman Pallava dynasty, so the Pallava dynasty, so Jainism was the dominant religion. Okay, so Jainism was spread in a quick way. So after the death of Mahavira, so Jainism spread all over India, especially in western India and also Karnataka and also in Tamil Nadu. But what led to the decline of Jainism? So first there is a split in Jainism. In course of time, Jainism split into two branches, namely the Digambaras, that is sky clad. So clad means dressed. That means, so Digambaras, so they wear sky as the dress. That means they wear no dress. And the Swatambaras, that means white clad. So Jainism was split into two. One group was called as Digambaras and another one was called as Swatambaras. That means one group of people so thought that there is no desire on the things. So they wear no dress. So they leave the physical pleasures. So they live like a saint. And another sect of people were called as Swatambaras. So Swatambaras means white clad. That means those who wear white clad dress. So Jainism split into two, Digambaras and Swatambaras. So Digambaras means sky clad. So clad means dressed. So sky dressed. Then Swatambaras, white clad. So white clad dressed. Decline of Jainism, the lack of royal patronage, so the lack of the support from the king, its severity, factionalism. So factionalism means so splitting of group into faction. So faction, a small group of people within a large one whose numbers have some different aim and belief to those of the larger group. And its severity, then factionalism. So the Jainism is a very severe religion. So they even asked the people not to do agriculture practice, not to involve in construction work also. So not to dig the soil. Why? Means they thought that there is living organism in the soil and all the things have soul. Both animate and inanimate objects have soul. So it prohibit to kill those organisms. So they go in a very severe way. So they even banned the practice of agriculture. Then if you ban agriculture means then how you get food? So this type of things that make the Jainism failure one. And the factionalism, that is it split into many groups, especially first as Digambaras and Swatambaras. Then and the spread of Buddhism. So Buddhism also spread. That led to the decline of Jainism in India. So the reasons for decline of Jainism were the lack of royal patronage, its severity, then factionalism, and the spread of Buddhism. So these things that led to the decline of Jainism in India. Okay students, today's class we will discuss about Jainism. So first we discussed about the impact of iron technology, then religion, so the post-Rig Vedic. So in the impact of iron technology, so the commercial centers developed in Gangetic Plain. So name the commercial centers developed in the Gangetic Plain. Vaishali, Shravasti, Rajagriha, Kausambi and Kasi. Then the Vedas. What were the 4 Vedas? Yajur, Sama, Atharva, then Rig. Then the Jainism and Buddhism. Okay, in which period the Brahmanas, Upanishads, Aryangas were compiled? From 1000 to 600 BC. Then Mahavira. So we discussed about the birth and life of Mahavira. Then the teachings of Mahavira. So how was the 3 principles of Jainism called as? 3 Ratnas. So what are they? The right faith, right knowledge, then right action. Then the spread of Jainism. So name the rulers. So who patronized the Jainism in North India? Dhanananda, Chandragupta Maurya, then Karavela. Then we discussed about the split in Jainism. So what are the 2 branches of Jainism? Dikambara, then Svatambara. So in which place, so the statue of Bahubali is carved out in India? Shravana Belagola. Then who was converted to Saivism from Jain? So name the Pallava king who was converted to Saivism from Jain by Appar. Mahendravarman. So if you have any doubt in this lesson, please contact me. So today's textbook reading. So take page number 56. Read Jainism, Mahavira, birth and life. Read it loudly. Then homework. Take page number 65. 5th roll matter. Answer the following briefly. Second question. Elaborate the term 3 Ratnas. So answer, take page number 57. See the heading, Teachings of Mahavira. The 3 principles of Jainism, also known as 3 Ratnas, are the following. Just write right faith, right knowledge, then right action. This is enough. So no need to write the points. So just write the right faith, right knowledge, then right action. So this is the answer for second question. So write it properly in your homework note. So thank you. Have a nice day.